all Arab states brought their armies to the borders of Palestine. "50 million Arabs declared a holy war against 600,000 Jews. Syria sent half its army to battle. In the Golan Heights, the Syrian command planned the conquest of Galilee. At the same time, an Iraqi column advanced towards Palestine through Transjordan. On May the 11th, King Farouk of Egypt ordered his army to move eastward. The Egyptian Minister of War told his king, "This will not be a war with the Jews. It will be a parade. Within 2 weeks, we will be in Tel Aviv." From his home in Tel Aviv, David Ben-Gurion followed developments with grave concern. He feared the Egyptian, Syrian, and Iraqi armies, but his main worry was the concentration of Arab Legion troops in Transjordan. This was the best regular army in the entire Middle East. Arab saber-rattling intensified U.S. pressure on the Jews to agree to indefinite postponement of a declaration of independence, pressure which was often accompanied by threats.
The threats were not made outright, but rather by emissaries, by reliable journalists, who would come and say, "I want you to know that I heard from a reliable source in the State Department that if you do not accept their proposal to delay declaring independence, it is liable to block fundraising efforts for Palestine." When we asked the State Department if this was true, they denied it emphatically, fearing criticism by American Jews and our friends.
Did you know American officials were putting pressure on Jewish organizations to postpone declaring independence for the Jewish state?
Oh, I think during the period when we were working for trusteeship, we urged them to do what they could to help us get more time to find a solution. If you want to call that pressure, it's all right.
In early May, you met with the Jewish leaders and tried to persuade them to postpone their declaration of independence. Do you remember what your arguments were at that time?
I don't even remember the meeting. I think our arguments were general at that time.
Well, can I show you a statement?
This says, in early May 1948, Assistant Secretary of State Dean Rusk entreated the Zionists at least to postpone their declaration of independence. I think I probably did. That was our policy at that time. If they did not, this is from Mr. Sakar, History of Israel. If they did not, the threat was implicit that Washington might block the transfer of American Jewish philanthropic funds to the Jewish state. Well, I think Mr. Sakar or somebody else put this implicit threat in there. Because if there's one thing that an Assistant Secretary of State cannot do, it's to affect the transfer of funds for philanthropic purposes anywhere. And I just categorically deny that I ever said it.
You deny that?
Sure. Nonsense.